Hello friends, welcome to Java tutorial. In this tutorial, we are going to learn about the inheritance is one of the important topics of object-oriented programming language. Inheritance is one of the key features of object-oriented programming. It allows the methods and variables of one class to be used by another class, which means there are two classes. One is superclass and another one is subclass. So subclass can inherit variables and methods of the superclass. There are two types to apply this inheritance: using keyword extends and using keyword super. Parent class is base class, which is called a superclass. Child class is subclass. This is the general form of the inheritance. First of all is parent class. Parent class must be declared before the subclass. Here the keyword extends is used, which shows that parent class is superclass and child class is subclass. In this body, we can use the parent class variables and methods. Now let's take a look at the example of inheritance. This is the example of inheritance. Here the class name is A, which have instance variable I and j, and value is already assigned to them. Here the class B extends A, which means A is superclass and B is subclass. In the method sum, we are going to use the variable I and j of the superclass. This is very simple example of inheritance. In the main class, we don't need to assign the object to the class A. Here B1 is the object of class B, and which calls the method b1.sum. Now let's check the output. Now let's run this program. So this statement comes from the method sum. Let's go through the keyword super. Keyword super is used to access the superclass variables and methods to subclass, and which is already used to access the superclass constructor to subclass. To access the superclass variable First, to access the superclass variables and methods to subclass. Here in this example, class A has variable A and variable B, and the subclass is B. If we want to access the variable A and B of superclass A, we just write super dot variable name. It means super dot A and super dot P. Here is the general form of the super keyword. Super dot member name. Here the super keyword which is used to access the superclass member. Member can be either variable or method name. Now to access the superclass constructor to subclass, class A has constructor A, class B has constructor B. General form to access the constructor of superclass. We just need to write like this: super. If there is parameter, then you should write like this: super parameter list, semicolon. Now let's check the program. This is the example of inheritance. Here we have the class name A and we have constructor also. we have test method in class A. Now this is the class B, which is subclass, and class A is superclass. Here this is the constructor B. Here we have used super keyword to call the constructor from class A, which means we should write super in the first line of constructor of subclass. Here this is the super.test to call the test method of the superclass. Now this is our main class. We have just created B1 object of class B. Now let's check the output. Let's run this program. So first statement is this is the constructor from class A, which is the output of the constructor, and the second statement is this is the method from class A. This statement comes from the method test of class A. I hope now you have clear idea about the inheritance. So we can implement this important property of object-oriented programming in our other programs.